So we were just talking about quantitative easing in the trade room. Gerardo, what's a red flag that comes to your mind? Is it regarding QE or something different? Sorry, I got something in my eye, like an eyelash. There we go. Come on. Yeah, that's true too. That happens. You said when something goes up with low volume, you feel like it's weak and will come back down. Well, that's actually a very good point. Now, also too, just remember too, it's kind of in this channel. So a lot of times it will pull back, right? So you'll see there was lots of pullbacks within this channel, but you can kind of see it kind of like this, or there's kind of a channel here. Again, the channel keeps adjusting as, it was kind of this way before, right? Then it kind of breaks down a little bit here, then it breaks down here, and now it kind of comes down here, and now you kind of have a channel, right? So if there's low volume, which, there's lower volume today, that just might mean, again, it's at resistance. Doesn't mean a crash by any means. You see quite a bit of bullishness here. It could be because it's at resistance and it may want to pull back before it either fails, right? So it could fail and dump, or it could kind of just pull back, let the moving average lines catch up until it slowly moves it upwards. But again, we'll have to watch and see, but very good perception with the low volume. So yep, definitely lower volume here. That's natural progression. You see lots of buying back over here. That could have been a lot of people potentially buying the dip, and then you can see definitely lighter volume, but people are also not selling either. So maybe not as huge buying volume, but also not as huge selling volume. But if you look relative to what happened, after coronavirus, volume like this is kind of relative to volume back over here. So it is less volume, but it is kind of regular volume if you look at it, going previous months, right? We're thrown off by this volume because there's a ton of it after Corona dropped the market. So we'll have to watch and see, guys. It's still playing. This $300 level is huge, huge, huge resistance level. If we can clear that 300, that would be a very good sign. So that's on the daily. On the weekly, that would be the 50 SMA is right there. So that'd be clearing the 50 SMA on the weekly if that happens. And on the monthly, it looks like we're already above that 9 EMA. So that could be a nice window if we clear that 300. That could be nice, pretty nice. What's up, BK? How you doing? All right, so we're going to build a watch list for tomorrow. BCRX was a nice runner from our watch list today. So last night we had BCRX on there. Like I told you guys, there's always usually at least one really good one, and then like another decent one, and then watch for the other ones for pullbacks before they launch maybe a couple days later. So you'll see BCRX at or above 510, and BCRX today got up to that 560-ish level. And this one actually had a decent, you had a kind of a 5-minute pullback. You can see right here. This is the stuff I like right here. You can see a 920 crossover, small little hammer, in anticipation of a break of high of day. So if you have this kind of up on, this is what I do, guys. I do, so you mark like pretty much high of day right here, right? So 522, which was... really, basically the previous day, 522 to 523, right? But you'll see what I do is I have, this is what I do. I basically put our watch list like this. And I have I just have 5-minute setups right here. And I zoom in and I have a couple of these on my computer. And what I do, I like 5-minute setups, right? So... James says, thank you for your time on sharing your videos and teaching. Much appreciated. You're welcome. Thank you for saying that. What's up, Rocky? How's it going? All right. So I personally like 5 minute. I like a good 5 minute setup. That's what I like to, I like whatever I'm trading. I like to have a really good 5 minute setup. Low floaters, very difficult to get a good 5 minute setup. Doesn't mean they don't happen, but typically you'll see like with low floaters, like very choppy, right? So I like to see a good 5 minute pullback, like something like Hyatt I would like, however, or HYT, BlackRock. However, HYT didn't have much volume today, right? So I like when something moves up, comes back down to like the moving average lines or VWAP. I like that nice 5 minute bull flag. So that's the stuff I'm looking for. Typically, sometimes you got to just let those play out throughout the day. So you'll see I kind of have a charts up of ones that I'm watching, and then I watch for those, right? So I watch if something's like doing this throughout the day, I'll address if it's not happening in the morning, then I'll go towards the afternoon and see like stuff like this, and then I like a breakout and then I'll trade it within a few minutes, scalp and get out, So I like a 5 minute bull flag, trade the breakout, look for entry, That's my style, right? So with our watch list, you'll see if many of them don't have a lot of volume, put them up. If they don't, right here, you'll see this one actually did break out in the morning. Got a little bit choppier in the afternoon, but you had another play on a 5 minute right over in here, right before the end of the day. You got to be careful a little bit after 3:30. I'd be very careful trading. But you can see kind of like stuff like this, right? So you see the anticipation of the break of high a day, this beautiful looking hammer. There was a 920 crossover off VWAP. That is really nice. If you waited till after you got to close on a 5 minute, you're chasing this bigger candle. Now that's a 5 minute setup, right? So if you go to a 1 minute, we zoom in on a 1 minute, there was your shot right in here. So if you missed it back here on a 1 minute, you could have caught it in anticipation of the break right over in here on a 1 minute. If you missed it and you missed it breaking high a day, you would have waited for this pennant right here. And that was your candle right here. Beautiful looking hammer candle. And as it breaks above that 532, then you decide, when you're going to get out. If you're new to day trading, 532 up to, 540 or 530, if you can get a 10-cent scalp, you will take a 10-cent scalp day trading all day, like any trade. Like you'd kill for a 10-cent trade every trade, Doesn't seem like a lot. But what you don't realize, is, or many traders don't realize, is that, especially if you're new to trading, a lot of the guru penny stock pumpers, the ones that brag about making $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a day, all they're doing, guys, is they're just using their account as leverage. So they might have $100,000, $200,000 brokerage account, right? So they might take a stock like BCRX, let's say. They might buy 10,000 shares, right? If they bought 10,000 shares and this thing breaks out and they scalped 10 cents on that trade, that's $1,000. So when you see a lot of the gurus that have a goal that is, to make $1,000 a day trading, many of them are buying 10,000 plus worth of shares, scalping 10 cents, getting out, right? So if you only have the ability to buy 1,000 shares, well, if I could buy 10,000 and you could buy 1,000 and we both scalped 10 cents, if I make 1,000, you make $100, we still made the same trade. You still made the same 10 cents. I just made more because my account was bigger, but we made the same exact trade. You follow me? So that's where, if you can scalp 10 cents a trade, like this is beautiful. You could have had one right here scalped up, one right here on the way up, kind of one here. That one was, hindsight's 2020. I don't like that as well, but this is right here. This is a really nice one right there, right? So you could have had 1, 2, 3, basically bull flag or pennant breakouts. And just as they break out, consider taking your profits. You can stay in longer if you want, depending on what your strategy is, but if you could scalp these bull flag breakouts on 1 minute, pop, 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 even here, 540, this one wasn't the greatest, up to 543. That's 3 cents. Right here is 531, 7 to 10 cents. You see it's, you get 5 to 10 cents a scalp 3 times. That's a way to grow a smaller account. Well, obviously you want to be ideally over the PDT rule, but don't don't underestimate making, if you made 3 or 4 trades in a day, scalping 5 cents, and you bought 1,000 shares, that's a $200 day or $50,000 a year income. That would replace most people's jobs full time. And if you make more than that, adding $50,000 into an IRA or something like that a year, not too bad, just scalping bull flag breakouts, right? Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure about any of those hydroxy stocks. I haven't looked at those. All right. So, he made $40,000 yesterday? Dang. I mean, I don't, guys, Ross is an awesome trader. Ross is a phenomenal day trader. Ross is also extremely rich. I don't know what he makes, but I'm sure he has a multi-million-dollar business. So, that's the thing you guys got to remember, right? Very important is you got to put it in perspective of loss, right? So if I have a $100,000 or $200,000 brokerage account, right? If I took a $10,000 loss in a day, that's a big loss, right? So let's say I lost 10% of my brokerage account in a day. That's a big deal, right? But if I had $100,000 coming in a month in membership fees, or $200,000 or $500,000, whatever that is, if I take a $10,000 hit in a day, but I'm making $100,000 a month just in membership, there's not a lot of pressure, and then I can turn that into a teaching moment, right? So if I have $1,000 win or a $5,000 loss, I could just use that as a teaching moment for you guys. I can just teach you guys about my wins and then say, oh, I'm just like you guys. I took a huge loss as well. So really, I mean, that's why you got to be, be aware of that stuff out there, guys. There's not a lot of pressure when you're, I'm not saying anything with him. He's a phenomenal trader, but it's a lot less trade. We're, Bullish Bears, we're a decent sized company, but we're not we're not as huge as many of the others. So if let's put it this way, if I was making $100,000 a month from Bullish Bears, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if I took a $5,000 loss here or there, And also too, just remember, guys, many people will follow you into trades. If I tell you, I just went long BCRX, a lot of people are going to follow me into that trade afterwards. That pumps the stock up. I get an earlier entry, also an earlier exit. It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. That's the industry. That's pretty much any of the chat room or penny stock pumpers and stuff that are out there. They get a position before you. They get an exit before you. And then they look like heroes because they have huge brokerage accounts and buy tons of shares. That's the game, right? That's why you'll see on Twitter, guys, you'll see I'm just kind of chilling myself and Dan throughout the day. We're posting, if you look at us over here, we're actually posting stuff that, like, you see some of these guys, man, some of these people are like, you see some of these guys on Twitter or stock twits that are like, there's some of them that are on stock twits and Twitter that they're not even their real names. They're like hiding behind some like whatever celebrity profile kind of thing. And they're talking about like how they make $100,000 a day trading the crappiest stocks in the world. There's no way they are. They're probably using a paper trading account or something like that. And they're not even posting what they're looking at. Like if you look throughout the day here, guys, like look, this is stuff that I'm posting right here. I'm actually telling you the symbol, watching what I'm looking for. Like I'm not like, you get what I'm saying? I'm actually giving you what I'm like. This doesn't mean, just because I'm looking at this doesn't mean for you to trade it. I'm showing you what I'm watching, kind of giving you some support resistance levels. And I'm kind of calling it as it's starting before it's happening, sometimes as it's happening. So again, don't trade this stuff just because I'm showing you what I look at. Some of this stuff runs, some of it doesn't. But if you look at it, like you're not seeing a lot of the gurus showing this stuff. The gurus will say, whatever, like ABC crappy penny stock has news today. And then at the end of the day, they're like, "Hey, I made $100,000 a day on this." No, that's bullshit. They don't make that kind of money on those penny stocks. They're not making that kind of stuff on that stuff. The ones that are like the really crap, gurus. But, don't fall for that garbage, guys. But make sure you follow us again on Twitter and StockTwits, posting stuff throughout the day over there. So me personally, I'm kind of hiding out over there, and not hiding out, but that's where I am, kind of in the mornings, afternoons, and then, I'll talk about stuff that's on the watch list, other things I'm looking at. And they're usually kind of some bigger, higher end stocks. Dan will talk about other ones as well. But, that's my rant. You've been following on Twitter. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Bone Clocks. Yeah. I don't want to say the name because I just don't feel like getting in. I don't feel like getting into a spat with anybody. But yeah, that guy is a perfect example of one. That guy's posting screenshots that he has, $100,000 day on the shittiest stocks on the planet. There's no possible. You probably would have to be buying. I don't even know how the math would work on that. You'd probably have to be buying 1 million share. Like, what are you going to do? Buy 1 million share, like, or $1 million worth? Or like, I don't even know what it would be. And God bless him. If he is making that, then he's got the biggest balls on the planet, putting your entire life, whatever it is, money buying the crappiest stocks on the planet. But if you go through his Twitter feed or people like his Twitter feed, you'll see he doesn't even post like I'm posting actually what I'm looking at. He'll post like whatever, SRNE news, SRNE, whatever. I'm just putting it out there. It'll be like, whatever, gets partnership with XYZ company. That's it. And then at the end of the day, he's like, oh, great, I'm a hero. And then all the people that love him are other fake profiles. That's the penny stock world, guys. You got to be very careful with that. So what we're teaching you and stuff on the watch list and our videos, we're teaching you the stuff to look for. This is right here. If you just look at this pattern right here, perfect example. You can see basically a cup, a handle. This is a 1 minute. This is beautiful. This 1 minute setup, if you see this all day long, you would trade, bull flag here, bull flag here, bull flag here. This one's kind of choppier right in here. Nice one right in here. And then it gets choppier after that. You had 3 or 4 of them. Typically after the first or second, you got to be careful. This one gave you several of them. On a 1 minute chart, this one right here, BCRX, I think was a higher float stock. And you actually had also kind of a 5 minute setup right in here. So this is a 5 minute one. If you missed it after here, you can see the pullback's a little bit more difficult. But that's what I'm looking for, guys. Stuff like this. Pulls up. 5 minute kind of setup and a pullback. So that was a nice one from our watch list today. All right, so let's reset. Let's build the watch list for tomorrow. But that's all I do, guys. This is, just kind of show you guys again. I have a couple screens. I have 2 of these. And I just put like symbols that I'm watching in the morning or ones from our watch list, and just put in here, have 5 minute charts. And I just watch all morning for those and wait for a 5 minute, 5 minute pullback right here. You can see in the morning, there was one over here, Hyatt, but it didn't have any volume. So if I don't see them in the morning, then you know what I do? I come back after lunch and then I start saying, okay, now they start to reverse many times in the afternoon, right? So you can see crossing over VWAP, pulling back to the 9 EMA. That's the stuff I'm starting to look at. If I don't get it, then I'm not trading. That's my style. So something like this, I'd kind of zoom in and see, okay, in the morning, if I missed it in here, it gets a little trickier up here, as I don't like diagonal flags up like that. I'm not a fan of those. So me, I'd watch and I kind of like wait, and maybe I'd readdress in the afternoon, as you can see right here, maybe as it's crossing over the 20 for a play back up to VWAP. So if it's not necessarily a bull flag, I'm waiting as it's closing above the moving average lines on a 5 minute for a possible move up to VWAP. But remember, like, again, trend is your friend, guys. You see stuff like this. Here was one today, NCLH. You can see 920 crossover starts to pull back. I'd start to look right in here. If I miss it down here off VWAP, I'm looking right in here, and you can see you can kind of use that as like a trend up, right? So that trend is your friend, and if you get a good entry, you can kind of ride that 9, right? So, so if you missed it back over in here or in this area, you had one more kind of shot right over in here. The earlier you get in, obviously the better, but just kind of that's where I want to tell you guys, if something from our watch list isn't running in the morning, or look at a previous day's watch list or address it in the afternoon. You'll usually get one decent play in the morning and then maybe one or two in the afternoon. And watch for those 9:20 crossovers, little candlesticks that are holding the 9 EMA. And once you see that 9 and that 20 moving up, you can use those and ride that 9. I personally like a good 5-minute setup, and if I get a good entry, I can ride that 9, into the afternoon or in the morning, depending when the setup is. And if I don't see the setup then I won't trade it. That's simple. Rocky again. What's up, Rocky? Based on TA, how can you tell apart pump and dump stocks? I look at time and sales. How would you be able to tell? And Scott says, someday I will be your finest student, LOL. Love it. Love it. So, Rocky, well, you can look at candlesticks. Candlesticks patterns are the biggest, indicator. You could also look at like low float, right? So here's a perfect example. Shares, if you're using Thinkorswim, anything under 20 million over here, just automatically assume it's a pump and dump. Doesn't mean it won't go up, but it'll pump up and then it'll also dump down a lot. The ones that I kind of put on the watch list are higher float, so there's less pumping and dumping. Doesn't mean it won't, but there will be a lot less of it. So you'll see like, if I put BCRX over here, BCRX is 150 million, it's probably 150 million float. If I went to right over here, and also too, you'll see ones that are just like when they're super high in the day, these biotechs, most of them are, anything that's a low float penny stock is pretty much a pump and dump. It will dump at some point. So you'll look at something like this. Here's one from today, ACY. So, like this, it pumps up and then it dumps, right? So this is super low float. Has a huge run. Look at the candlesticks, 421 down to 320. Like, that's just, this actually had a pretty decent 5-minute right in here, but you still got to be careful of these. Like there's, so you actually had kind of a 5-minute pullback right in here. That's a 5-minute. If you look at a 1-minute, here you go. That's, basically pumps and dumps. So it's just day traders they're taking this 1-minute bull flag breakout and then they're out, So I'm sure some chat room was probably buying this, right? If I was the guru buying this and you chased after me, I bought up here, and by the time you could figure out, being a new trader, how to place your limit order to buy the dang thing, you're caught in this high wave candle. The professionals are not caught up in here unless they had a bad day or something, but they're not buying out here. This is all new traders. Chat room buys here, pumps it up. Their members probably are late to the punch out here. And then chat room's looking back somewhere in here. These smaller candlesticks again, buy out here, and then probably one of their members is buying out here and getting trapped, right? Chasing. That's the difference, like pump and dump, right? So you can see, like, again, these are absolutely great stocks to trade. Not my style, right? I like 5-minute setups, getting in, and I'd rather scalp 10 cents on a higher float stock than 10 cents on a lower float, right? Just my style. I'm doing other things. I'm doing stuff with bullish bears. I'm posted on social media. So, I don't have the luxury to be super quick on something like this. And also I don't like split second decisions. I don't like that. I like taking my time. So that's the difference between an ACY. You can see those crazy ass candlesticks compared to, like, let's say BCRX. Doesn't mean it won't dump, but you'll see, wow, it dumped after hours, huh? But you'll see it's like, let's see, what is this candle? 522 down to, see, you can see they have similar candles, right? So you can see similar nasty looking candles, but the difference being on the higher float stock, up here, 518 down to 511. That's 7 cents compared to $1, right? Again, more shares able to be traded. So on higher float stocks, if it goes against you, you're going to lose typically less than on a lower float stock. You're also going to make less. So higher risk, higher reward with low float stocks, lower risk, lower reward on higher float stocks, if that makes sense. What's up, Chemo? You guys are popping. Love, love, love. Bullish bears. Love it. What's my opinion on trading in pre-market, post-market? I personally don't like it at all. That's my own personal opinion. Unless you get a really good entry on it, I typically don't. It's not safe, but not saying you can't get it. I wouldn't make a habit of it. But if you're looking on something specific, like I wouldn't be trading pre-market or post-market daily. But if there's like a setup or something that you can see and it's about ready to rip, then maybe I would consider it. If there's a lot of like volume going in the pre-market as well, I'd consider it then. But if that makes sense. Just you guys want liquidity, right? You want to, that's the whole thing, is you want volume, right? That's why with our watch list, you'll see, I'll have, let's say 5 on the watch list tomorrow. 1 or 2 might have decent volume in the morning, and you'll think, oh, these are duds. Well, then you come back in the afternoon, you might miss one that just runs and rips up for the rest of the day, right? Most people, that's the thing with day trading. With our watch list, you'll see I put it as day trading, but many of these, because they're higher float stocks, you're able to potentially swing trade them if you have a right setup. So you can see here's this is like a medium float stock. Here's an example on, I think I just saw it with my eye right here. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at those, like all those opportunities on the way up, right? That's a beautiful, beautiful stock. Typically, you're not going to, the chances of you seeing something like this with a low float stock, not often. Or these candles would be like, these might be a dot, like huge risk candles. Is there a way to share my Thinkorswim settings for day trading? We have them in our for our members contact when they if you're a member of ours, when you log in under members only, we have our Thinkorswim settings for everybody. You traded Pixie hard. Let me see. Pixy. Was that today? Was that Ross, you said? All right, let me see Pixie real quick. Let's see. Okay, so Pixie, perfect example. Pixie is a very low float stock. Did he trade that today or yesterday? Yesterday it looks like it had a really great day. Yeah, so I mean, guys, this is, again, so this, trading it. Oh, yesterday he traded it pre-market. So let's go to pre-market. I mean, so here's a perfect example. The stock is gapping up $6. I'm not sure where he got in, but like, guys, well, let's put it this way. If I was a multimillionaire, I probably would take more trades pre-market, right? If I'm making $100,000 a month or $500,000 a month from bullish bears, I'd say, yeah, maybe I'll risk buying 5 or 10,000 shares. I don't care, because if it goes against me, you got to look at risk on these candles. These candles are huge, right? I mean, $8 up to $8.91. These are like 50 to $1 candles, right? So also too, you got to remember, guys, at open, remember, relative, think about what's going on. So here's the five, like I was telling you on 5-minute setups, forget it on low floaters. You can say, oh, pull back to on a 5-minute here. Well, sure. Look at this candle, 1247 down to 1088. That's a gigantic risk candle, right? For a 5-minute, forget it. Like, where's your 5-minute setups throughout the day? They all suck. They're terrible. Maybe right here, right? For a possible, and that's still 1250 down to 1208. You're still risking almost, 40 to 50 cents on a 5-minute candle. If you're a multimillionaire, you have a big brokerage account, okay, maybe you take the risk, but most people don't have that size account. And then you zoom in, you're like, there you go. You know what I mean? So you're trading this, again, if I'm a multimillionaire and I have a multi-million dollars in my brokerage account, I might risk off this, I might take it right off this 1-minute candle, because it doesn't matter if I lose. Guys, think about it, right? If I'm a teacher, which I am, if I'm a multimillionaire teacher, and I tell you, oh, look, it's holding, there's a Maribozu candle, it breaks out, I could say I'm taking in at the break of a anticipation of a break of pre-market high. If I win, I'm a hero right here. I buy whatever, 5,000 shares, 1257, I sell the next candle. Right here. I'm a hero on this, right? I'm a huge hero. But if it goes against me and it drops, I can say, guys, it went against me. Hey, shoot, I have a bad day too. It didn't break pre-market high. I can't lose in that situation. You get what I'm saying? But you guys, if I'm trying to teach you guys, I'd be like, shit, guys, like, I'm not trading any of it. I'm waiting for maybe, like, in here, if I'm trying to get you the safest entry, I ain't playing around. Maybe right here. Right here, I can see a nice green candle hold, 1308 down to 1245. It's still, and you're got to be quick. These are 1-minute candles. So again, if I'm trying to teach you guys a safer way to trade, I'm not moving you into this stuff. I'm moving you away from this herd where you're not going to have huge gains here, but what I'm teaching you and what we're teaching you in Bullish Bears, you can move to these low floats when you're comfortable. You can trade let's say a BCRX instead and trade something like this, come over here and right here. So here was chop, right? So let's say here's an example of, let's say you went really quick on this one. Well, what is this candlestick? 515 down to 511, right? So now you're risking right here. So you can see if you're risking off this candle, I don't love this one, but you have a piercing candle, you have a 4-cent risk, right? And as this is moving up, let's say 515, if you're out over here, so maybe you're making 5 cents, I'd rather teach you guys how to scalp 5 and 10 cents over in these. Even like, I personally don't like these setups. I like them more clean like this, like down here or kind of like this. But if you're playing around with this stuff, at least, you're building your account on 5, 10 cent scalps. And if it goes against you on some of these higher float stocks, you're not going to get burnt as much. Pixie would blow up your entire account if you don't know what you're doing. This is the stuff right here. I like right here. Pull back here, right? Pull back here. Good luck with low floaters. You get maybe one. Low floaters, and maybe a couple times a month, but a low floater, you're not getting 3-4 opportunities. Or if you are, the candle risk is going to be huge. So, if you can scalp 5, 10 cents here, 5, 10 cents here, 5, 10 cents here, 5, 10 cents here, right? Once you know how to do that, then go over to the low floaters, and then you get 1, maybe 2, if you're lucky, shots. You'll make a lot more money, but if you're brand new, don't be trading low floaters until you're comfortable. Great way to make money, but great way to blow up your account if you don't know how to trade. What's up, Homebrewed? Love scalping. Scalping and swing are your thing. Love it, love it, love it. I don't use Ichimoku for day trading. No. We have our settings for our scans for our yearly members once you're logged in. Pixie will leave your account in the dust. Yeah. Again, guys, I'm just a bull flag's a bull flag, right? What I'm teaching on a 5-minute, if you want to trade the low floaters, just apply it on a 1-minute. Good luck. You're not getting a 5-minute pullback. Very rare on a low floater. But you don't need to. Once you're comfortable with it, great. You trade the 1-minute breakout, you're done in the first few minutes of the day. You know, you just got to have the tolerance for it. But again, just remember, it's very easy. I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't have millions in my brokerage account, you know. But also at the same time too, if I took $100 or $200 or a $500 loss, you know, it might not affect me as much as somebody that has, you know, a $5,000 account, right? So, you know, if I have a $100,000 or a $50,000 brokerage account, whatever, just throwing a number out there, and you have a $5,000 brokerage account, if I take a $500 loss and you take a $500 loss at a $5,000 account, I can deal with that a lot more. If I'm a multimillionaire and I take a $500 loss, no big deal, right? So it's all relative. Oh boy. Low float, that is for the beginners. No, not for the beginners. No, definitely not for the beginners. If you're a brand new trader, stay away from low float stocks. No, I'm around. I'm just doing more on Twitter and working on stuff in the back end, homebrewed. So I'm doing more of the watch list. We have great streamers in the morning with in the afternoons too with Rose and Sig and Creed and Dan and Angel. All right. Well, that was lessons there. I didn't even start the watch list yet. But hopefully that helped you guys. Trying to give you the stuff to be aware of. Oh. This one might be interesting for a sub $1 stock. Possible flag, kind of possible holding the moving average lines. I put these on, someone asked me on StockTwits today, like why I had whatever on a watch list. I'm showing you strictly technicals. I have zero clue about AHT. Any of the stuff on a watch list, I know none of the fundamentals. I'm a technical trader. But many times I'll put these on and somebody on the back end might know news or might know fundamentals about AHT, and this thing may be getting ready to pump. And the technicals might show you to potentially get in, you know. I'm not saying to get in on this by any means, but I try to make the watch list diverse for you guys. You're welcome, Rocky. Oh, yeah. Adam says, low float is a great way to make more money, but an even better way to blow up your account is what I meant. Yeah, very true. Low float will blow up your account and rip your head off for most traders. Guys, I've been trading for a while. I don't like low float. You know what I mean? Great way to make money. Great way to lose money. I like to manage my risk. I'll take lower gains because I like to manage, I like small risk. But that's me, you know what I mean? Low float, most trade rooms, most gurus that are day traders, they trade the low float, you know? That's, you know, the big names in the industry that are, you know, pumping the penny stocks and stuff. They're trading the low floaters. That's a great way to make money, you know what I mean? Absolutely, you can make great money trading them. But if you're new trying to follow a guru pumping low float stocks, you have to remember most of them have huge brokerage accounts and they're scalping 10 cents looking like heroes, you know? So this one, by the way, ARR, this one kind of right below. This one has kind of an inverse head and shoulders. I don't like the red hammer, but it might be setting up with the hourly, potentially right here off the hourly. Might be getting another pump up. We'll have to see. I might put ARR on. So, yeah, there's a whole world out there, guys. If the people are showing you what they're doing, showing you their screen. So, like, if somebody's, here's where I have respect for people. If somebody's, like, right here, you're not seeing us tout in, like, gain. Like, we're not trying to pump stuff. We're trying to teach everybody, right? But, again, if there's a guru out there that's, like, if they made $10,000 or $5,000 that day, and they're showing you their order entry screen from start to finish, that's a different story, right? So if I show you my order entry screen and I'm showing you, like, you know, let's say I was doing this. So if I'm you know, let's say I was buying. So now if I'm doing whatever, however many shares, right? If I'm showing you this right here, and then I got Pixie pulled up, and I'm showing you on a 1 minute, and I'm showing you, okay, guys, I am waiting for whatever. This is not a good stock to look at, whatever. You know, whatever, back over here. All right, guys, let's say I'm looking at BTU for a breakout. If I'm showing you that I'm about to buy, and you see it, so it's not on another screen, right? It's easy to put this on another screen and pump to you, right? Because you're going to be delayed. But if I have this screen up from start to finish, showing you this when I'm getting in, and then saying, all right, guys, you know, so I see this hammer here. If the ass moves up, I'm going to, you know, watching up over here. Ass moves up. Okay, boom, I'm going to buy the ask on a bull flag breakout. Okay, I see this red reversal candle. Now I'm going to sell and get out. If you're seeing that from start to finish, and I'm still having thousands of dollar days, that's a different story, right? Because now I'm giving you the same advantage of me. I'm not hiding it behind on the back end, right? So I'm not saying this is not on another screen. So it's easy to have this on another screen. Tell you, okay, guys, I'm looking at that hammer right there. Okay, cool. Just watching for it to break. All right, cool. I just got in, guys. I'm long. Now you're like, oh shit. Dang it. Now you're in after me. Even if you waited 2 seconds after me, you're in after me. When am I getting out? When I see this, if I'm on another screen, boom, I sell and get out. Okay, guys, I'm out. Now you're chasing me on the way out. I got an earlier entry. I got an earlier exit. That's the game, right? That's the game in the industry. If you have a big chat room service, you know hundreds of people are going to follow you into the trade. It's that simple. So that's why you don't see us doing that stuff. Because even though we tell you, and that you can't, I don't fault them, because at the end of the day, I don't fault a lot of the gurus, because a lot of the gurus also know they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Some of them will tell you don't follow them into a trade, knowing you're going to follow them still into the trade, because a lot of traders are gamblers and they don't know what they're doing, you know? So I don't think they're all trying to pump and dump. I think some are. But you have to be aware of that game. Nice, Adam. That's how you lost half your account with low floats. Thanks, Joseph. Oh, I love it. Who just wrote that? Then you. Oh man, I wish they showed. I gotta find out why they don't show who the Facebook. Who just said then you can go have a nice lunch. Love our annual membership. Tim's the real. Tim is awesome. Guys, one of Tim's trades could pretty much pay for our membership for the year. Nice lunch. That's another one. Yeah, that's... gotta love them. Well... Oh, here we go. This might be a cheapo penny stock. On the hourly might be setting up. On the daily might be setting up for a pump. Potentially. But like something like this one might not be huge, you know what I mean? BTE, or this is an energy one, but like, you know, some of the smaller cap stocks, these might not rip from 30 cents up to 20 bucks, right? They might rip from 30 cents up to a buck in a couple days or something like that because they're higher float. But, you know, if you like the low floats, follow our trade idea scan and stuff that we do each day. We post that and post those each day. BTE, maybe energy. Dang, I haven't even done anything with the watch list today. Eesh. Possible cup and handle right here on APA Apache. That was on, I think, a week or two's watch list. So this one may be setting up again. Possible cup and handle. Kind of inverse head and shoulders-ish. I may put it back on again. PRTS. So PRTS, a little bit too overextended for me. Again, I like stuff when it's near, like here. I like it down here, maybe in here. Too far out for me there. Baba's getting delisted. Did you say Baba's getting delisted? Is it? I don't know. Biac might be interesting for another pump, potentially. So I start to see these ones that are like sub $1. So like stuff like this, right? It has a history of pumping right here. So this one may be getting a possible, maybe setting up for a pump. So I might put Biac on. Again, do your due diligence. Yeah, I don't know anything about Baba. EXK. It's at resistance at that 200 SMA, possible star pattern, so I'm not a fan of that. You're welcome, Alex. What'd you guys say, Mark? When I see these spinning tops way out here, guys, I'm not a, you know what I mean? These are the ones that I'm the wrong person to ask. I have zero balls when it comes to holding stocks, like especially penny stocks. I don't have balls. I know there's people that'll hold penny stocks when it's out here, you know, but when I see it like as it's ripped from 55 cents up to $2, I have no balls holding this thing. You know, I'd see this and I'm like, oh man, this thing's going to reverse, but it might go up again. So when I see stuff like this, I stay far away from it. I like it down here. And after that, you know, potentially down here, it's harder to trade for me. Again, I like bull flag breakouts or cup and handles. I wouldn't say short it because I don't know. I have to see what happens. Like holding, like swing trading this is like, that's the thing that's the difficult thing with these small cap stocks. I just personally would never swing trade them just because I just don't have the cojones to do it. If I got in down here, different story. Buying in out here, you know, that's a lot more. I just don't do that. CIM. I think CIM was on our watch list, right? So CIM, it's still holding on there. It's above the 20. It's got some resistance right around that 845. I think that was on our watch list the other day. So that's what I was saying with these ones, guys, with our watch list. Sometimes they take a little bit of time to grind. This may be setting up still. It's still, on the daily, still holding. It's some resistance between 829 to 850. So it's been choppy, but it's still, just got to see some resistance between 830 to 850. EVRI. Star pattern. When I see those, I stay far away from that. Possible reversal down. Joe, that's a very difficult one. If it's for day trading, what's the best strategy? If it's day trading and you're new, I suggest day trading higher float stocks. You'll make less, but you'll also lose less. So basically, I would take our watch list, put 5-minute setups on there, let them sit there throughout the day, find which ones have, close to 1 million or plus in volume, watch for 5-minute pullbacks, and then scalp, scalp 5 or 10 cents, watch for pullbacks, if you're new. First of all, trade in a paper trading account until you're comfortable trading, but higher float stocks for day trading, they're going to be slower, but that's what I recommend for day trading if you're new, is the higher float stocks, just so there's less pumping and dumping. Yeah, for day trading, that's where I would put up here's just kind of what I was showing you guys earlier. Oh, shoot, did I delete that? No. There we go. I would just put up have 5-minute charts, higher float stocks, and then I would, I'd stay away from this garbage like this. I'd stay away from the garbage that's trading sideways or these choppy candles. And then I'd watch for a good 920 crossover on a 5-minute with a clean kind of hammer. So something kind of like this, or more like this, right? You can see a possible green to move, red to green move, 5-minute hammer. As it breaks out, then you can see, okay, well, there's 847. It has a chance to move, 5 to 10 cents. Maybe you scalp 5 cents out of, whatever it is on whatever stock you're trading. Every stock's different, but a bull flag hammer, trade the breakout. Just kind of practice doing that over and over until you get comfortable, and then you can go trade low floaters if you'd like. High float is anything basically over 100 million. Low float is under 20 million. Really low float's under 10 million. Medium float, 50 to 100 million. High float, anything over 100 million. And then 100 million above, a billion, stuff like that. Then it's really high float. AINV, that one might be interesting. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. How do I feel that one? Maybe. I'm going to get rid of HT. AR. Maybe. Might get rid of that one. I might put Apache down here. APA. This one may be interesting. This one's interesting right here. I'd like to see it above the 200, but it may be setting up possible flag for a possible breakout. And I like when I see stuff like this, when price is above the moving average lines, has volume. Like this one may be setting up. So I like stuff like that. I prefer it more like when it's gone up and pulled back. But this one is maybe intriguing for APY. Typically, so Lenny says, so the higher the float, the less percentage it'll move. That's a good, oh, someone asked me something in the chat. Hold on. What is that post? Oh, okay. Let me see. Someone asked, one of the admins asked, Peeps, can you do me a favor? I'm posting I'm posting a link to a fan. Can you guys do me a favor? If you guys like us, whatever, can you guys share that Facebook post that I just posted? It's a video that we did. It helps us to grow kind of as a community. So if you guys like that video or whatever, just do us a favor, like or share or comment on it. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. So yeah, so basically the higher the float, it's just, less movement. You can look at it like the higher the float, less the movement. So less risk, less reward. So less pumping and dumping. So as the stock breaks out, you'll make less than you would with a lower float, but you'll also lose less if it dumps on you. Again, I'm not putting hate on any means on low float stocks, guys. They're really great. But I think the majority of people on this planet have no business trading low float stocks. Because think about it. Most people work a job, right? You ain't trading low float stocks at a job. It's just not, you know what I mean? You're not getting in and out of a stock within 15 seconds when you're hiding in your cubicle at work. You know what I mean? That's not realistic. You know, it's just not. So, but if you're a professional, so if you become a professional day trader and do it full time, sure. But if you're brand new starting out, low float stocks will rip your head off. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it, man. Not seeing very many today. TTWO. Too overextended for me. Oops. Yeah, after several green days like that, I don't like guys, remember I had Bill Barr. I always call this stock BBAR, Bill Barr. That was one I told you guys I was looking. I actually didn't put it on the watch list, and I was like, I took it off one week. I forgot when it was. It was back here, but that's where you'll see, guys, these ones from our watch list, they kind of grind up a lot of times, you know? So I don't know when, I don't remember when I was looking at it a week or two ago. But, you know, this is the stuff I like, you know, something like this. I don't know anything about this stock, but, you know, I can, you know, when it's higher float, I can tend to be in it typically longer. I can wait for it. Or even if it like kind of goes up or it kind of breaks back down, I won't get as nervous on, you know, potentially swing trading some of the ones on our watch list if they're higher float. Because again, there's less pumping and dumping. Travis, I'm going to be making some videos on those in the future. I'm doing I just did like little scalps today. I'm just growing my IRA. So what I'm doing right now is I have an IRA, so I kind of trade some of the bigger ones on our watch list and scalp like 5 and 10 cents here and there. And I'm going to make some videos on that for you guys in the future. I was talking to Dan about that today, that I'll at some point start making some videos for you guys. Like I said, I'm bad at doing two things at once. It's actually amazing that I'm able to trade and also just post social. I'm practicing with doing this, so practicing with trading and doing posting on social media, which has been driving me nuts, but I'm actually able to post on social media doing it. Because I'm also, like I said, when you see the stuff I'm posting, I'm not posting it afterwards. Like a lot, sometimes I do, but like I'm saying like watching CCJ pull back on a 5 minute, see if it holds. I'm not posting it after and saying CCJ just held VWAP and broke out. That's easy to do. I'm trying to give you guys a heads up as it's happening, if that makes sense. CCJ, this one may be right at $10 a little. This one may be interesting. Yeah, that one may be interesting. Maybe I'll put that in the swing trade one. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I plan on doing that, guys. This is first time I've had, past month or two was the first time I've actually had some time actually freed up. Like, if you guys, basically everything you guys see on our website, like everything on our website is done basically by Dan or Angel. It was myself included up until maybe a couple months ago. So pretty much the design of our site, which in fairness, I don't love, was, I'm not a web designer, but I learned web design. And that's where I disappeared for pretty much a year because we paid some guy that did a crap job on doing web design. That was, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I took a year to try and learn all that stuff myself. So that's why I basically disappeared for a year. So the web design, all the blog posts, all of it, it's all done by me, Dan, and Angel. So now that I don't have to redesign a website anymore, and eventually we'll get it updated again, but now I'm able to spend more time trading. I can't design website stuff and trade at the same time. My brain doesn't allow me to do that. I'm very singularly focused, if that makes sense. You're welcome, Lenny. What's up, VAPR? Oops. All right, let's see if I can find maybe a larger cap stock to put on there. Twitter, we had that. I think we had Twitter on a while back. Look at that. Twitter's moving up. Facebook. What is a critical level for what? So let me see if I can give you an example. Bob NCLH, was that one today? Was that one? Let's see. What was I looking at? Shoot, I got distracted. What is a critical level for stocks? What do you mean? I'm just trying to find a large cap potential one to put on for you guys. Any thoughts on Chinese stocks getting delisted? Is it possible? I don't know anything about that. That's actually good. That's interesting. That would be interesting. So this one may be CVX Chevron. This one may have a chance to move up. And may put that one on CVX. Let's see if there's any other ones. I use Thinkorswim, yeah, Joe. So I'm mostly trading just like larger or like highly liquid, high flow, not huge share positions. I'm doing my IRA, and I do super tight. That's the other thing I'm doing, super tight bid-ask spreads, or like, yeah, exactly, yeah. Super tight. So like I'm doing maybe 2 cent spreads. And I'm just scalping 5 or 10 cents, Other times if the setup's good, then I'll stay in it for a little bit longer, So for sink or swim is good for that. If you're trying to do like large share positions, day trading, stuff like that, not the best. If you're doing options, think or swim's great. Futures, high fees. They're good for trading them, but kind of high fees, and sometimes they do quirky stuff. Boeing's still hanging in there, huh? Dang. Oh, Boeing might be setting up, huh? Dang, am I going to put Boeing back on the watch list? I might. That's a kind of a falling mega. I may put Boeing on, potentially. INO, let's see. Yeah, so here's a perfect example, guys. I mean, there ain't no way in hell would I ever buy anything out here. But, I mean, could it still go up? Sure, but like, I just never buy out here. So for my trading style, if I don't get in down here or down here, I'm not risking way out there. That's just my own personal opinion, though. I mean, I just don't like buying way out there. Yeah, Boeing might for a potential breakout. I'm just scalping. So vapor, like, if I'm scalping, I might do 1,000 to a few thousand shares, growing an IRA, not a huge amount, and I'm not staying in it very long as a scalper. All right, am I done with this watch list? Let me see. All right, I think I'm done. Let me just put the alerts out there now. Yeah. I mean, I'm more just happy just doing shares for myself. Scalping options is fantastic. Day trading options are huge. We do that and we teach that in our trade room and our courses. It's just, remember, guys, I'm in a little bit different of a position because I'm also so kind of like with Bullish Bears, we're a well-known trading company, but we're not like mega, right? So we're doing everything, like I said, ourselves. So it's not like every day me and Dan and can just go and be like, and Tim, Tim still works a job as a police officer. You know what I mean? So Tim's still working. Dan is pretty much running everything you see on the entire site, and myself and doing social media and all this stuff. So like we're still just running all the just the day-to-day stuff. So we don't have, it's not like we're waking up and be like, oh, it's 9:30. Cool. Everybody's doing everything for us. We're just going to sit here and just trade and just like, that's all we're going to do is trade. We're getting closer to that, but we're still growing, but we're not sitting there like, we do all the stuff ourselves. All the blog posts and stuff are pretty much us, Dan and Angel and editing. And so at some point, we'll be able to just trade all our, that's it. We'll have everybody else doing everything. But in the meantime, we're still doing that stuff all ourselves. All right. So let me try putting the alert levels on here now. 866. All right. So 850 to 866. What was that? Hammer on daily. Watch for possible move up with resistance between 850 to 866-ish. BTEs and energy. Might be set up. Let's see if it can break out of 32 cents. 32 to 38. Watch for possible breakout above 33 cents with resistance around 38. You'll see me pause a lot when I'm doing a lot of the small cap, like the real sub $1 ones. Because you guys will see I'm very patterned kind of trader. And so, the patterns get a lot choppier, and I'm trying to at least give you something with movement. So there's a lot of people that like to trade these sub $1 stocks. So, if a stock can move from 33 cents up to 38 cents, it's there's some resistance right there around 33 here. That's a potential 5-cent move. Not bad if you have a chance of something like this to get in. If you're buying, a lot of people will buy 10,000 shares of something like this, Not my style, but you'll see, like, I'm kind of like, I think a lot more when I see the sub $1 stocks, because it's not as easy to get, like, the patterns I want. You'll see a lot of this stuff, the choppiness. Like this stuff. The other one was a little bit better, but BIOC has a history of pumping and dumping, so when something like this goes, this has a chance if it can pump up. Price above MAs on daily. Watch for possible pump with resistance around 50 cents. APY, was that Apper G? Oh. Possible flag pattern on 1 hour. Watch if price can get above 200 SMA with resistance around 930-ish. So kind of a flag pattern on an hourly. If price can get above that 200 SMA, resistance around that 930-ish. APHA. Basically kind of a cup and handle pattern. 372 up to 378. $387 to $430. 387 to 430-ish. Hammer on daily. Watch for possible continuation with resistance between 387 to 430-ish. You just sold your INO yesterday for $13.60 and it broke out today. Sad day for me. Let me see INO again. I mean, you can't, like, this is like the thing, guys. You can kick yourself, right? It's so easy to kick yourself that it's going to go up. You know what it also can do? Tomorrow this thing can dump back down. Look at this. It went from 1936 down to 560. You don't think that's going to happen probably again at some point? I bet it will. You know, so yeah, sure, maybe you sold too soon here, but guess what? When it dumps back down again, you'll be happy. You know, I'm not saying it will, but chances are it's probably going to. You know, I mean, it has a history of doing that. You know, we'll see what happens, but don't think, you know, a lot of people think whatever. I don't even know what it is. I'm assuming that there's some type of rumor or news or something to do with that over there. You know, some people might say, oh, that's $100 stock, right? Whatever. I know. I don't know if it is, but like, someone could put out headlines. Oh, I know it's going to go up to $100. You're like, oh man, I kick myself and I sell it, and it's some crazy whatever news pump headline, and then it dumps. You know. $12.25. Cup and handle. 13. $12.50 to 13. $12.50. $12.25 to $12.50-ish. Cup and handle on 1 hour. Watch for possible continuation with resistance between 12.25 to 12.50-ish. Tim's Thinkorswim setup. Ah, that's actually good. I wonder if does Tim use Thinkorswim? Let me do this. Let me text. Hey buddy, can you please text me a link, your TOS shareable link for your chart set up so we can post for members. Thanks, dude. Great idea, Rocky. If whatever, I don't follow up with me by Monday, if for whatever he doesn't text it back. That's a great idea, though. 95, 96. Oh. 340 up to $95. Cup pattern on 1 hour. Watch for possible continuation with resistance between 94 to 95-ish. SMA 1033. Possible reversal. Watch for potential continuation with resistance around 1033-ish. And last but not least, I'm going to put Boeing on. Potentially. Am I going to put Boeing on? Let me see. Possible cup and handle. 135 to 136. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Am I going to put it on? Nah, I'm not going to put Boeing on. Boeing is one to maybe look at, but I don't think I'm going to put it on for now. And then it'll probably rip. The moving average that I use, moving average lines, I use the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA, the 50 SMA, and the 200 SMA. I think that's all I got. I'm actually going to post stuff to the website. I'll probably just end the video because I think I went very long today. No, that's okay, Rocky. Yeah, we may do video in the trade room at some point. I'm pretty much the one that does most of the stuff on YouTube for video. Maybe I just feel very confident of putting my face on YouTube, right? It's not easy, guys. I ain't gonna lie. It's not easy to like put yourself on camera all the time. That took me a long time to feel comfortable doing that. You know? So we'll probably do more of the other people at some point. But you're welcome. All right, guys. Where do you find the setups? We will post the setups right over here. We post them just as you're logged in. I'll post them in a few minutes. Right over here each night, we post the trade alert setups here and then the watch list right over here. All right, guys, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all.